If you're a fan of a TV show, movie, or particular character that has created a buzz, they might have had an attraction created in their honour. Of course, we know the huge, well-established names, and the numbers that visit speak for themselves, but we know that the real fun is in discovering those that were slightly off-centre, dare I say unusual choices, or unfortunately just didn't work. Let's take a look at some of those attractions that many still remember fondly. Later known locally as Bucks for short, this restaurant has become the stuff of legend. I only wish that I'd been old enough to go when it opened, but sadly I was still on the toddler food. Although Buck Rogers the TV show had already finished, this restaurant opened in Glasgow's city centre in the early 80s above a very famous joke shop and was apparently a fantastic experience for those that were lucky enough to visit for some sci-fi style fast food. I'm not going to lie, after watching this great Instagram clip from Martin Green Sound, he sheds a lot of light on what happened and why it didn't become the huge chain that was originally planned. He mentions that the second floor had a sick bay replica and model spaceship. Now, was that for the kids that ate too much? And that the venue lost its Buck Rogers licence, had a fire and soon closed its doors. The most amusing fact is that the restaurant version of Tweaky was a gentleman called Alan who spoke in a broad Glasgow accent. I think I'd be terrified as a child, but impressed and amused as an adult. I will say, the ice cream sundae with cherry on top still appeals to me and would be hard to resist. Half of me is proud to see my home city diving 100% into a themed restaurant, and the other is utterly bemused. There's a great YouTube video of a kid's birthday party from the restaurant, online articles focused on memories of visits, and plenty of forums with lots of staff and diner recollections. Apparently serving staff earned £1.50 per hour, while robotics dancers were on £2. As a relative joked with me, you've got to do what you've got to do to earn a buck. Sorry. There's a fantastic article by Ian Hepburn which paints a picture of silver spandex-clad staff with sparkly makeup and very 80s hair serving an enthralled Glasgow clientele in those short years of operation. He goes into great detail about the beginnings and unfortunate end of the restaurant, and it's a really interesting read for pop culture fans. Retro Mash goes even further, with a fascinating article featuring an interview with General Manager Ron and robotics dancer Kevin, who shed light on their memories of that crazy time. This restaurant really did make its mark. While digging a little deeper into the wonder of Buck Rogers Burger Station, Google threw up some information I didn't know. That after Buck Rogers came Bar Jedi, also referred to as a Jedi Bar, a Star Wars themed bar in Glasgow that also came and went in a relatively short time. Apparently referred to as Glasgow's first space bar, Jedi Bar closed its doors in 2002, and with it went the 20-foot Darth Vader helmet and front door Starship engines. If you lived in the UK in the 1990s and watched Saturday night TV, you'll know that the king of entertainment from the 70s to the 2000s was Noel Edmonds. From Radio 1 DJ and Top of the Pops host to Saturday morning kids TV in the form of Swap Shop and eventually Saturday night primetime. He excelled at live television broadcasts and was always a safe pair of hands. Just check out his effortless Christmas Day broadcasts from the top of the post office tower from the mid-80s to watch a master at work.
And that's the view over London, live on this Christmas Day morning, Christmas Day 1985. Wherever you are in the United Kingdom or in ERA, we wish you a very happy Christmas. We're up the top there, 620 feet above London. British Telecom's micro radio network link is all set here. I'll tell you a little bit more about what the tower does in a while.
In the 90s, he launched Noel's House Party, a live and interactive Saturday night entertainment show, and it attracted any celebrity guest that he wanted. They were queuing to feature, even if it was at the door of his TV mansion to be booted off the show as quickly as they arrived.
Calm down, all right. Come in, Blobby, come in.
In the vein of Jeremy Beadle and Candid Camera, they designed an element of the show where celebrities would be booked to participate in a children's TV show. Little did they know that this show was completely made up, and the main character, Mr. Blobby, was a fictional ploy, designed to irritate, humiliate and push their buttons. At the end of the day, Noel would step into the Blobby suit and unveil himself to the unsuspecting celeb, with the payoff being their look of anger, relief and hopefully laughter, so that they could collect their Gotcha award for being a good sport.
The greatest sounds of music, sparkle like a gem. Gary Dane's blazing.
What happened though was that this fictional character connected with children in a way that they never could have imagined, and they ended up releasing a #1 Christmas single. Blobby was a much coveted guest on all manner of TV shows, causing chaos wherever he went, and Blobbyland, officially called Crinkly Bottom, was launched in 1994.
Oh, please tell me it's not Mr. Blobby.
Blobbyland opened to much fanfare and included 3 theme parks dotted around England. It attracted tens of thousands of visitors, but from what I've read, the issue was that the parks were expensive for food and drink, and there wasn't actually that much to do. The website Northwest Nature and History states, and I quote, "The main attraction himself, Mr. Blobby, was hardly seen. His daily routine was that an aerobic instructor knocked hourly on the door of his house and shouted for him, 'Mr. Blobby, are you coming to do your aerobics?' At which point Mr. Blobby would reply, 'Blobby, Blobby, Blobby,' and come out to do his aerobics." There's some home video footage on YouTube, and I can see that it looked like a holiday park more than a theme park, from what's shown. Apparently they didn't last too long and were all closed within 5 years. There are various abandoned Blobbyland videos on YouTube, and I'm one of many who find it fascinating to see what condition that these huge attractions are looking like now. This video from Colliding Planets Exploring gives a good overview of what's left after the theme park closed its doors. In recent years, Noel appeared back on British TV after relocating to New Zealand, and of course, there had to be a Mr. Blobby reunion, whether he wanted it or not.
You knew it was coming.
I had a funny...
You speak to him every day. You probably gave it away.
I had a funny feeling.
Located in the Star Trek experience, this was one attraction that I did get to visit in the mid-2000s. It was very popular, done well, and appears to have closed due to lack of financing and loss of licensing, a story which is proving to be very common. It was the centrepiece of a Deep Space Nine promenade of shops and featured a cast of more than 100 actors working to bring the public a great experience. While appealing to Trekkies, it was so well put together that it didn't matter if you knew the characters or not. From memory, the actors portraying the Klingons were suitably intimidating where necessary, and you really did feel that you were in an immersive experience. I think that's the reason why I enjoy learning so much about those other experiences, good and bad. There are a lot of online forum memories proving that it was a popular attraction and still remembered fondly by those who visited. I love it when someone shares a menu and you can reminisce about the items and hopefully how cheap they were compared to now. There's a great article by Christopher Lawrence taking a nostalgic look at Quarks, and the names of some of the menu items are hilarious. Bacon cheese burger, the wrap of can, and a drink called James T. Kirk, very witty. We took some photographs of our time there, but camera phones weren't really a thing then, plus I certainly didn't have a video camera. So it's always welcome to see some YouTube content of someone who was able to capture some footage.
You tell people this shirt is terrific, will you? They walk by you, just tell them that shirt is the greatest shirt you've ever seen. Tell them it's made out of Thulian silk if you want to. Rule Acquisition number 239 strictly states, never be afraid to mislabel a product. Thank you. You have to buy those samples, those are not gifts.
My favourite forum comment is from someone called Phrase, who answered a question regarding who had been to Quarks Bar. I can't speak Klingon, so I'll leave the quote with him speaking the language himself. Did you ever visit Quarks or the Star Trek experience? I'd love to know. I'd never heard of this theme park, but it was a big deal in 1984 when it launched, but sadly closed only a year later in 1985. It looks as though it was well done, very well received, and thought of fondly to this day, and was just a victim of the economy of the time, with oil prices and reduced consumer spending ultimately resulting in a premature closure.
It's a place for fun.
Introducing Hanna-Barbera Land.
A place for meeting, laughing, eating. A place for fun.
You can see some home movie footage on YouTube from people who were there, and the Retro Pop Planet channel has a great video reminiscing about their visit back in the day.
Video by Guy Hutchinson on his Pointless Nostalgia channel. It was all about Hanna-Barbera theme parks, or weird Hanna-Barbera theme parks that either are still around or are no longer around.
There's an interesting video on the 80s New Generation theme parks which focuses on the story of the Hanna-Barbera Land and sheds some light on the full story from start to finish.
Hanna-Barbera Land would open for only 2 seasons before closing forever, and the idea was abandoned until it was reborn many, many years later.
Popular rides included a Scooby-Doo roller coaster, themed character pedal boats, and Papa Smurf's Forest restaurant. I understand that it's been a water park since 1987 with various name changes, but still going strong. A special mention goes to the unlicensed Willy Wonka based experience, a short-lived attraction based in my home city of Glasgow and globally famous for all the wrong reasons. I use the word attraction loosely.
For all the wrong reasons, the event promised a chocolatey dream, but instead left parents livid, children in tears, and the actors involved, well, quite frankly, embarrassed.
When your attraction is such a disaster that children cry, the global media goes crazy for it, and there's a 60 Minutes special and a documentary, you know something's not quite worked. There was a musical titled Willys Candy Spectacular, a parody musical created with a Variety article discussing why Hollywood A-lister John Stamos was so happy to take part in the recording of the opening number. John said, and I quote, "After playing Willy Wonka in concert at the Hollywood Bowl, I was happy to join in when the event's director, Richard Kraft, asked me to record a demo of the opening number to his upcoming stage show, Willys Candy Spectacular, a parody musical, spoofing the Wonka rip-off fiasco in Glasgow. Any opportunity to sing a batshit crazy song about the end of days and to be pelted by candy is something to savour." There's a YouTube channel focused on the musical and a cartoon video of the song Lower Your Expectations, which is just as touching as anything in the original movie. My Scottish pride is soaring when I hear lyrics such as, "It's not the sets are too small, it's that the room is way too large." I don't know anyone who visited, and I understand that the tickets were not cheap, so I'm hoping that it's become a badge of honour to those that have been the visitors, now that there's been some water under the bridge. Or it might have been chocolate milk if the budget could stretch.
This wasn't enough. What if it's that you expected way too much?
Now, as a side note, there are some amazing attractions I'd love to visit that have been operating for years and received nothing but praise. Graceland and Dollywood are always high on my list, so if anyone's got a story of their own visits, I would love to know. What are your most memorable attractions, and for any reason? Share your thoughts in the comments because I'd love to know, and I'll see you again soon.